Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog Podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRoushMedia.com, photo, video, digital media production. Today we are discussing You, Season 3, Episode 6, Womb. So as of now, I would have expected you to have watched Episode 6. As her mother launches a new venture, Love grows increasingly concerned about a potential big change herself. Joe has a breakthrough in self-awareness. So this episode is kind of like the flopped version of number 5, uh, when they run out into the woods. And so episode 6 largely revolves for Love and Joe taking their own direction. Love is worried half this time about the fact that she may or may not be pregnant from um, Theo. And meanwhile, she is on like this new venture with her mother and her friends. Um, and so uh, the thing is, I wasn't too crazy about the whole is she pregnant, is she not pregnant. I'm glad they kind of nipped that in the bud in one episode. Um, so I'm glad that we found out that she is not, even though her mother and Sherry decide to like blurt it out on a Instagram live stream. Like, oh my gosh. So I was curious if that was going to come back to bite her in the butt, but that didn't, and it looks like she's not pregnant, so that's a good thing. She is texting 40 throughout this entire thing. Um, I gotta say, and two things, they're calling the grandmother is calling their son 40 as well. Are they just interchangeably using Henry and 40 as the same name for both the brother and the young boy, the young baby? Um, I don't remember if 40's real name was Henry. I can't remember that off the top of my head. But there is some like oddly intimate moments for bringing back James Scully as 40. He pops up out of nowhere in the tub scene with um Love, and they talk about like how they are soulmates, and I was like, I guess that's how that works. I wouldn't have exactly wanted to picture being in the tub with my sibling as a twin, fully grown. I definitely wouldn't want to think about that, but um, that was certainly something. It was good to have James Scully back as 40. I forgot how much energy he brought, and it is odd how much Theo does kind of channel that 40 energy in a way, which is weird. Why I don't know why I'm not too crazy about Theo's character. I like the actor Dylan. Is it Dylan Arnold that's playing it? Um, yeah, I like the actor. He's kind of got this like slight sarcasm about him that is just kind of likable, and he's very. I'd say he's kind of self-aware. Um, got that self-aware humor. He kind of reminds me of like if Paul Dano and Ezra Miller had a love child. That's what. That's every time I look at him, I'm like, oh, there he is. He popped out of Paul Dano's womb. I was just like, oh my gosh. But anyways, interesting looking. Uh, and I like his acting style as well. So, anyways, um, Love is very much entangled in her own world of, does she? I just think she's unhappy with her relationship. I don't really feel like she has like real deep feelings for Theo. She does have like this like quality of wanting to like help him in a way, financially. For I don't really feel like he needs it financially, but she just keeps saying how he needs all this help. I'm not exactly seeing all the help that he exactly needs. It just feels like he was just very persistent in giving her attention in a way that she really wanted. Um, and my goodness, he is 19. That is young as sheet. Um, so, anyways, what else do we have? We have Joe going down the Marianne path. We knew this was going to happen, and he's also intertwining a little bit of his feelings of how he felt about his nurse back in the day. So we do find out very quickly that the nurse is being probably is in an abusive relationship, and young Joe is like, I'm about to take care of this fool. Don't even worry, I got this. Like I can even tell that young Joe is got the fire burning in him, that he wants to take care of this guy, like as in like mobster take care of this guy, send him to Belize and he ain't coming back kind of thing. um but so that was kind of predictable, but I did not see her pushing Joe away to that degree. I feel like we're kind of getting we're getting shown the aspects of females yelling at Joe, and I guess it's kind of what's trying to say this is what's, quote unquote, triggering him in a way. So it is interesting that he's kind of like pulled back a little bit, and originally once he started to get too close to Marianne, that he decided that he needed to bring a letter of resignation in. And it almost feels like the writers are just like one step ahead of us, because they're saying almost exactly what we're thinking. He is just one or two nights away from making a box full of all of his obsessed goods from her, stuff, the bracelet, the books, and all this random stuff that she has. Um, so I don't know exactly what the end game would be for Marianne. I know that Joe is trying to basically protect her. He just like straight up fell head over heels for this lady. I was kind of surprised how quickly he fell for her. I thought it was going to be more of a physical thing, but he's already saying like loves her, and that's where I'm like, this guy's got completely the wrong idea of what real love is. He just has like a serious uh, obsession with somebody to the point where he thinks he's in love, and so that's where it all comes down to. Um, Let me think. Anything else? Theo finds this big old heaping computer load of exposition of uh, of this private investigator that is doing work for his dad, Scott Speedman as Matthew. And honestly, I thought Matthew was going to be in this a lot more. He's not in half this season. More of a cameo, glorified cameo. Uh, so let me think. Anything else? Yeah. So everybody is a suspect essentially. I'm kind of surprised that Shelley didn't have put more of a target on her back in this episode. It seems that she maybe in a closer, safer zone. And Joe just has absolutely no idea about Theo. It's interesting how cool he is. He's kind of using his Marian obsession to kind of cloud his judgment about letting Love be around Theo, and it's like she's making up reasons to be around the guy, and there's just so many signs that would show that Joe would know exactly that, oh my gosh, that Theo is um Theo and his wife have been, hooking, shacking up, and probably will again. Um, she's like, well, why don't we just act like we're doing it? It's like, that's not a good idea at all. um, so yeah, I was actually surprised that she was kind of feeding into that, and she keeps saying how she's not interested into him, but yet everything she does and like says to Joe is like feeding into like wanting to be with Theo, and it just kind of just driving me nuts. I'm like, oh my god, it's like this is getting a little ridiculous. Um, Anything else? I still think Theo's got a pretty big target on his back, possibly. Scott Speedman's getting kind of less there as much as Marianne. I thought it was kind of funny that he was like, "Oh my gosh, love is gonna kill you." He's basically thinking and saying exactly what we're thinking. Um, Let me see if there's anything else that we need to cover. Oh, the cell phone text messages. She is going to regret every single one of those text messages. I really feel like those text messages are going to come back to bite her in the butt. If the phone is still there, which I think she said was beside the nightstand, that clearly, I mean, isn't it like too obvious that Joe is going to come across this phone, look at the text messages, see all of the incriminating evidence that she gave him? It's just like, a little sloppy, but I could definitely see somebody doing this to try to get this therapeutic to text somebody that's probably passed away. I've thought about that. It's always that strange feeling of, looking back at text messages with people that are no longer here. It's just like you can't ever have these conversations again, but it feels like you can still send it. Um, so yeah, I definitely felt the sentimental strings when 40 came back too. I definitely think the actors portray love, not the character love, but their love as siblings very much in that way. I was despite the uncomfortable tub scene, but what I mean is, um when he's singing "I'll Be There," I was like, oh my gosh, this is like pulling at the heartstrings. I'll be there, you know I would is just like one of those classics that you can just feel when someone that's no longer there is singing it, or is interacting with it. Just call my name and I'll be there. Oh, dude, it kills me. It's like, just why don't you just put a? I'd rather swallow an apple whole. That's how it feels like to me. I was like, oh, it really gets me. So, anyways, that's the sixth episode. I can't believe that we've covered this many. Why, y'all don't deserve all these recaps and all these reviews. What do y'all think this is? I don't know. I'm glad y'all are listening, tagging along. Um, Jeez, sex, love, and goop. What the hell? That's something scrolling across Netflix. Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow got to get her goop in. Oh my goodness. Anyways, so yeah, so let me know what you thought about episode 6. We're gonna hop into 7. Like I said, no promises on recap by episode. We're just kind of chugging along, see what kind of goes down well. Um, but yeah, we will be back to cover at least the final episode to give our final take on season 3 of You. Once again, thank you for listening, watching Look It Up Podcast. Let me know how we can do to improve the review. Let me know what we can do to improve the enjoyment. Thumbs up, subscribe, and the social media stuff to connect with the podcast. LookItUpPodcast.com, Patreon/Look It Up Podcast, and all the other good stuff is in the description. Thank you, and take it easy. I'll be there.